Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we need to talk about that frustrating, heart-sinking moment literally every investor dreads. So picture this. You've done everything right? You did your research, you invested your hard-earned money into a mutual fund, and you've patiently watched it grow over time. You finally decide, hey, it's time to redeem and enjoy the fruits of my patience. But when you actually go to hit that button, suddenly you realize something is very wrong.
Boom! You are hit with a surprise exit load deducted message. A portion of your money, often around 1%, is just missing. Now you might be thinking, wait a second, the mutual fund is taking a cut when I withdraw my own money? Well, yes, they absolutely are. And honestly, it's wild how many investors don't even know this hidden penalty exists until it is way too late. Over a lifetime of investing, that single 1% leak can actually rob you of hundreds of thousands of rupees in lost compound interest. No way we're letting that happen to you.
To avoid this trap, we're going to run through our insider playbook today. We'll cover the mutual fund penalty itself, knowing the exit rules, mastering the FIFO Rule, smart withdrawal strategies, matching your goals to your funds, and finally, a smart exit load framework.
All right, let's jump right in with Section 1, the mutual fund penalty.
So, what exactly is an exit load? Basically, it's a small charge deducted when you redeem mutual fund units a bit too early. It acts as an early exit penalty. Think of it kind of like a last-minute cancellation fee for a movie ticket. If you change your plans right before the movie starts, you're going to pay a small penalty. Same exact concept here. For instance, if you invest 1 lakh and the exit load is 1%, redeeming too early means a quick, painful 1,000 rupee deduction straight from your balance.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. That sounds completely unfair. Why are they charging me just to take my own cash back? Well, the reality is mutual funds need stable investors. They really don't want short-term panic redeemers who jump into the fund today and try to bail out tomorrow. That kind of erratic behavior actively hurts the fund's overall strategy. So the exit load is basically there to stop people from treating mutual funds like a revolving door.
Which brings us to Section 2, know the exit rules.
Here's the thing, exit load rules change dramatically depending on the specific scheme you're in. While everyone else is just staring at historical returns, the fine print is where your actual wealth is protected. Take a look at this. Equity funds typically slap you with a 1% penalty if you redeem before the 1-year mark. Hybrid funds, they usually look at a 6 to 12-month window. Liquid funds, which are designed for just parking cash, usually have very low or literally zero exit loads after just a couple of days. You've always got to check the scheme document because those rules entirely dictate your timeline.
Moving right along to Section 3, mastering the FIFO Rule. This is a real game changer. If you are investing through a monthly SIP, you absolutely must wrap your head around the first in, first out rule. We call it FIFO. Here's how it works in the real world. Let's say you're investing $10,000 every month. You buy units in January, then February, then March. Fast forward to the next January. Guess what? Only the units you bought in that very first January have completed their full 1-year aging process. Your February and March units, they're still considered early. So instead of cashing out everything and taking a hit on the newer units, you can smartly and legally redeem only those older eligible January units. To really break this down visually, your older January and February SIPs have crossed that 1-year finish line, which means absolutely zero exit load. But your recent SIPs are still baking. They haven't crossed it yet. By literally cherry-picking and withdrawing only the older units, you bypass the penalty entirely. It's crazy how few investors realize they can specifically select their withdrawals like this.
Okay, let's jump into Section 4, smart withdrawal strategies.
You know what the absolute biggest mistake investors make? The emotional bulk redemption. They suddenly need cash, so they just withdraw their entire portfolio all at once, triggering massive exit loads across the board. But there was a much smarter way. Wait patiently for your exit load period to completely expire and then set up a systematic withdrawal plan, or SWP. This lets you smoothly, calmly draw down a regular income without a single drop of your wealth leaking out to penalties.
And hey, even if you invested a lump sum, timing is literally everything. Say you dropped a lump sum of 10 lakhs. Resist the urge to do a sudden, full redemption. Instead, you want to stagger your redemptions in phases. As different portions of your money become eligible and cross that penalty-free threshold, just withdraw them partially. Sure, it requires a little bit of patience, but staggering your exits keeps thousands of rupees exactly where they belong, in your pocket.
This leads us perfectly into Section 5, matching goals to funds.
A massive chunk of exit load pain just comes down to mismatched timelines. A classic mistake is saving up for a short-term goal, like say a house advance you know you're going to need in 6 months. If you park that short-term cash in an equity fund just to chase high returns, and then an emergency hits, you are trapped. You're forced to redeem early, you eat that 1% exit load, and you might even take a market loss. The golden rule is super simple. Short-term goals belong in debt or liquid funds, which have virtually zero exit loads. Long-term goals belong in equity funds. Pick the wrong category and your exit load problems basically start on day 1.
Finally, let's wrap this all up in Section 6, the Smart Exit Load Framework.
Before your finger even hovers over that redeem button, you've got to make sure you aren't making these reactive blunders. Redeeming your whole SIP blindly without checking dates, ignoring the fine print of the scheme, using equity funds for short-term needs, or panic selling the second the market dips, and of course, misunderstanding how FIFO applies to your money. These are the main ways everyday folks just hand their wealth right back to the fund houses.
So here's your fix. Seriously, grab your phone and take a screenshot of this checklist right now. Avoiding exit loads isn't about finding some sneaky trick, it's just about asking the right questions. Run through this. Has the exit load period fully completed? Could a partial withdrawal solve my cash needs right now? Are my older SIP units eligible for a free exit? Would an SWP be smoother? And actually, are there any tax impacts I need to consider alongside this?
It all boils down to this. Intelligent investing isn't just about chasing the flashiest, highest returns. The quiet, unglamorous side of getting rich is just as important, plugging the leaks. Small savings from avoiding a 1% penalty here and there absolutely compound over time into truly meaningful wealth. By mastering FIFO, choosing the right fund categories, and planning your withdrawals, you are the one in control.
Now, just a quick reminder that this explainer is for educational purposes only. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks, and exit load rules do vary across different schemes, so please consult a qualified financial professional before making any moves. But as you take a fresh look at your portfolio today, I want to leave you with this. By mastering the rules of withdrawal, what other hidden wealth leaks could you fix right now to supercharge your wealth tomorrow? Thanks so much for tuning in, and happy investing.